Alright, what's up you guys? Welcome to another episode of Sharkstalgia, where I talk about all things 80s and 90s in the form of modern era comebacks, as it has been quite a while since I've done a Samurai Troopers or Ronin Warriors update. We know that there was going to be a brand new animated series set to release in January of 2026, and we recently had one trailer and a little teaser trailer, as well as the first official character, which was the main character guy, and he summoned the armor of Wildfire. And the cool thing about this character is that if you have seen the latest trailer, which also just came out about a day or two ago, so I apologize for being late, but we now got some brand new footage in that animated series involving the rest of the cast and the rest of the quote-unquote Ronin Warriors, because, you know, I grew up with the Ronin Warriors rather than calling them Samurai Troopers. So, and that was me watching them back on Toonami in the 90s. So I'm kind of more familiar with Ronin Warriors rather than calling them Samurai Troopers. But otherwise, whatever you prefer, it's up to you. And I will keep the link in the description below of the new trailer that just came out, and it dives a little bit into the characters and how they transform into their armor and stuff like that. And we do have new posters and new images to run off of, and it's pretty exciting because the original series is, you know, so damn awesome, and I love the animation. And before we get into the actual characters, just by briefly talking about the trailer, we know that the series will follow 5 young samurais who must help humanity after demons are released by unraveling of a dimensional seal. So we know that these characters will be fighting other villains, hopefully the other bad guys part of the original series as well. And we also know that this is sort of a reboot from the original series, whereas the original characters like Ryo or Sai, Kenta, or sorry, give me a second here, I messed up the names. Ryo, Sage, Sai, Kento, and Rowan were all part of the original cast, at least the Ronin Warriors version, the American dubbed. So to see these new characters come back and kind of give us like a brand new fresh take on this franchise, I guess I'll give it a chance, because the animation style does look pretty decent, and it's not like the traditional drawing style anime. It looks pretty updated, but pretty cool for the most part. So anyways, let's go ahead and take a look at the remaining characters part of the Samurai Troopers that's set to release in 2026. So we know we had the first official image, which was Guy, the armor of Wildfire. So, you know, we've talked about this before, where I was kind of confused about the little flower piece on the hair, but apparently people are saying that it's actually his hair piece just colored red. So otherwise, the sneakers, the jeans, the jacket, all that looks pretty cool. And if you've seen the new trailer, you'll see that he does scream pretty crazy. So that's like the classic anime scream, which is pretty awesome. So no issues about that. And we talked about the armor before. The armor has a little bit more of an update compared to the original classic design with the slight blues, whereas this one, it could be depending on the image, but it looks like he's got more of the purples, and they kind of updated the chest and the side shoulder pieces a bit more, but the bottom half is more or so the same. So pretty cool. We've seen this image before of Guy before the armor of Wildfire, so this is the original characters are also part of this as well in terms of the new style. So we got the cool text there as well, which unfortunately I cannot read. Next we have the Halo armor, and this has always been my favorite Ronin Warrior in the sense of the fact that it's green. Green has always been my favorite color, so whenever I see a guy wearing a green armor, it looks absolutely incredible. So we can see here that the armor is still green, has like more slightly updates, but it's not until we get to the actual new I guess you can say roster image, where we have, I guess the character's name is Shion or Shion, so please do correct me if I'm wrong in the comments below. So dude's got purple hair, long purple hair. He's got more of that cardigan with the or like skirt-ish, and then the tights, and then the boots, and one of those baggier black shirts. Got the little pearl necklace and everything. So the character does look pretty cool. It's kind of a departure, obviously, from Sage, but it's fine. You know, I have no complaints there. The armor compared to Guy it looks a bit more, I guess you can say, toned down. It's not as like intense as Guy's armor is, so it's still cool nonetheless. I mean, we still got the classic bottom half, which has like the rigid portions near the belt, and then the armor pieces by the shins. The torso piece is a bit, you know, off to me. I don't know, there's something about it that I'm not too fond of, but it looks fine in terms of, you know, you got the darker green top and then the middle being the lighter green, but at least the interior is still white and stuff like that. And then he does have that little V checkmark samurai style on the helmet in the yellows, and then he's got his little he's got the sword weapon in the back that's pegged onto it, so that's pretty cool. You can see his hair peeping from the sides too, from the back, and otherwise it's pretty decent. The character design, though, it's a bit modern, so yeah, I mean, if you've seen the trailer, like, he does kick ass, which is pretty cool. It's just like the choice of outfits, probably not my favorite, but it's still fine for what it is. I mean, it's cool. So yeah, I mean, do correct me if I'm wrong, if I pronounce the name wrong, you know, Shion or Shion. So otherwise, it's a pretty cool character. All right, so then up next we have Musashi. Now, I believe Musashi is a female in the group, because based on the voice acting within the trailer, it sounded like it was a female voice. So it could be, unless it's like a younger pre-puberty type kid. But this character looks pretty cool. I mean, he's got the standard track jacket with the yellow shirt, and then the skinny jeans, and then the shoes, which is all fine. The armor piece looks pretty interesting, as it got more of a encrusted like diamond or like pearl in the middle, which is pretty awesome. The blue armor looks pretty sick. Again, I always like the bottom half. It's just I got to get used to the top half, because that's more of the updated versions compared to the originals. But otherwise, you can see that he does have the two different versions of the shoulder guards, which I do like, because the original toy did have the same aesthetic, which is awesome. Then he's got the little shield thing in the back, and then the helmet is pretty accurate compared to the original as well. And like a Guy, this character also has two-toned hair colors, in terms of, we got the lighter blue in the back, and then we got that little white, you know, strands in the front, and then we got purple eyes and stuff. Otherwise, Musashi is a pretty cool character in terms of design wise, and yeah, got to see how this one turns out. But one thing I do notice is that if you look at the bottom half, like the feet of this character, you can see that it has more of the like duck feet, the flat surface style. So that's pretty cool, and you know, the yellow belt and some of the spikes there as well. So yeah, I mean, it stays pretty faithful to the original as well. So nothing too much of a drastic difference, which is fine. Here we got the Torrent armor, in terms of, this is like part of the trailer with the text there, so that's pretty cool, and kind of see the Musashi in action. Pretty awesome. I guess it's more like crystals, I guess. So sorry, I said like ruby or diamonds, or so it's more like the crystals flying from underneath. So that's pretty cool. Can't say too much about that. Next we have the character Yamato, which is it looks more on the bulkier side. We know this was, I believe, Kento in the original Ronin Warriors, and I guess they kind of gave him more of that beefier stature compared to the original slimmer style. So he's got like the baggier hoodies and the cargo pants, the high socks, and then the high top sneakers. He's got the two-tone hair as well. The sides are also colored gray with the blonde hair with the ponytail. The armor piece is probably one of the better ones compared to the other two that I've just seen. I do like the design of the bottom half, and then we got the little ruby circle right in the middle, and then the little heavy armor pieces, or like the spikes on the shoulder guards, and then the helmet. I'm not I'm kind of forgetting. I'm not sure if the helmet was like this in the original series. I could be wrong, but it still looks fine. Because the original armor piece was more on the orange scale, and this is orange too, but it seems more of a like a darker orange, kind of like closer as we head closer towards like the mustardish brown color scheme. So yeah, so I mean, again, this could just be based on the lighting, but it's okay. But yeah, the armor piece just looks fine. This is, again, probably one of my favorite amongst the 3 that I've seen so far. So with this one being Yamato, pretty cool character, and he has more of a rigid voice in the trailer, which again I'll post in the I'll post a link in the description below, but it's still cool for what it is. So it's a cool character. And then here we have Yamato in the Hardrock armor, and when you see it in action, it kind of feels like it's a bit lackluster in terms of there's not much going on. Because when you look at Guy's armor, you can see that there's so much detail onto it, but then you look at this guy and it seems like it's very limited because he's got the bulky square shoulder pieces with the spikes, but which is something I'm not too much a fan of, but I guess it's fine. And then he does got that axe, and I feel like I've seen this axe before in the Mystic Knights of Ternanog Saban show. I don't know if any of you will remember any of what that is, but it kind of reminds me of that weapon. So pretty cool. The Garrett, the fifth, what do you call it? Mystic Knight of Ternanog. But anyways, cool character, and they got the cool design dragons on the blades as well, so that's cool. Next, we got the last character, which is Kaito, so please correct me if I'm wrong. He's got the cool blue leather jacket with a light blue undershirt tucked inside gray pants, and he's got blue high socks and boots, and then he's got the parted hair, classic anime style, lighter blue, very similar to Rowan, so that's cool. He's got earrings on, yellow eyes, and this one has more of a simpler design compared to the other 4, but the style of it is pretty accurate compared to the original design as well. So he's got the bulkier shoulder pieces, he's got the 2 horns, and I don't remember if the original had the yellows in the front, so let me know, I kind of forgot. But he's got like silver trims by the torso piece, and then he did have, I think in the toy version, he had like darker blues where the silvers or whites are supposed to be, so that's pretty cool. So it's kind of like more of an updated version. The yellows and golds all look cool, and then obviously the shin guards are fine. So yeah, I mean, it looks pretty cool, pretty decent. It's a nice addition to the roster, and he was also in the trailer and kicked a lot of ass, so hopefully it'll be a good one. And then here we have the Strata armor. Pretty dope. I mean, so one thing to note about this is that when I mentioned in the beginning that the animation style does look pretty promising. I mean, compared to other animes that I've seen with the updated, drawings, I'm not too much of a fan of it, but this one looks a bit decent and better compared to the original, or not the original, the other animes that are coming out right now. So it's kind of like, I mean, I'm pretty sure it's also hand-drawn, but it's more digitized and computer-esque. So you can just tell by looking at the photo the style of animation it's going to be. So it's not like that classic hand-drawn animation, but it's still fine. I mean, I do miss the old versions, but it is what it is. So that pretty much is the character selections in terms of the samurai troopers, and of course we'll have more coming down the line. So other than that, I know it's been a while since I've done an update, but I'm pretty excited to watch the show. We are only about, let's see, it's September now. We got about 3 months before the show comes out, so I'm sure we'll see a lot more, and then probably action figures as well, so that's pretty cool. So with that being said, yeah, we have more posters and stuff, and it's pretty cool. So with that being said, let me know in the comments below what you think about this roster, and I will talk to you guys in the next episode, and we'll continue to update you guys on Samurai Troopers until the show comes out. So thanks for watching. Be sure to give a like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next episode.